Alright guys, welcome back to Fog Wrestling, the only channel here on YouTube that tells you how shite everyone in the current wrestling business is. But unfortunately for us, this is a top 10 best wrestlers list of 2021. We've even got the Scott Steiner action going on at the moment. Can't speak properly, but hopefully over the next 10 to 15 minutes we can get enough of the English language out there to give you our top 10 list from 10 through to number 1. And with that said, let's start off at number 10. Now this is based on the particular performances of the current wrestlers, so we're not taking into any past circumstances. It doesn't matter if you've won 24 million titles in Ring of Honor, you know, that crap here.
That wouldn't matter anyway though.
That's irrelevant. And anyway, here we go. Let's start the list with number 10. Number 10 is AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. Let's be real. Since the last couple of years, he's not been too phenomenal. Started with a great debut in WWE, debuted at the Royal Rumble. Since then, went on, had a great feud, had a great first year on SmackDown. What's he done lately? Not a lot. Just comes out in Raw, jobs out, stands next to a big 7'3" black guy, and apart from that, the guy hasn't been doing that much, but he makes the top 10 list due to everyone else being pretty shit. So there you go, AJ Styles in at number 10, and who knows, maybe next year he'll move up the list, or maybe with more shitey booking, he'll even move off the list and he'll be nowhere to be seen, and then we'll have to try and do a top 20 to include him.
By God!
Up next at number 9, we have the returning Carlito, the bodybuilder, the body guy. He traded in a 6 baggy apples for a 6-pack, and he is back looking better than ever, weighing in at 240 pounds. Carlito, the master of the Caribbean cool, the master of having a mad fucking haircut. Unfortunately, since he came back, he hasn't really done much, but hey, coming out and throwing an apple at Nakamura and then having a tag match with Jeff Hardy is enough to get him on this top 9 list. What does the future hold for Carlito? Will he be back, or was it simply just a 2-night return to au revoir, a farewell? Hopefully not, because he's one of the more entertaining guys on the roster.
And hopefully he can be back spitting in the faces of people, because COVID is a bastard.
Especially if it's in the face of the people who aren't cool, and that would be most of the roster. Anyway,
and
up next,
people above him.
Coming in at number 8, we have Michael Jackson's Japanese lover, Shinsuke Nakamura.
And this guy is one of the few guys from Japan who is actually decent. He isn't just one of the guys that looks generic. He isn't one of the guys who is just awful. He has a look. He has charisma. As much as it pains me to say, I think the guy actually should have been world champ. And I believe he should be in that region. I believe he's underutilized. The stuff with Styles, you know, I think he could have been not pushed to the moon, but this guy definitely belongs on this list in my opinion. He is one of the few guys I look at this roster and he is a star. It does pain me a wee bit to say that because this roster is filled with jabronis, but I believe rightfully so he belongs on this list. He's better than the likes of Finn Balor, the likes of them. He's a step above them, and he should, in my opinion, be world champ 1.
He should have been world champ, but unfortunately for Nakamura, he couldn't see John Cena. Coming in at number 7, it is MVP.
He is the mouthpiece of the Hurt Business. He is making a bunch of jobbers look good here because he's the only guy in that group that can talk. A guy, personally, underlooked in the Ruthless Aggression, but because now he is surrounded by, I mean, it's not a good roster. He is up there with the best talkers in the company, in my opinion, and he rightfully has a place on this list.
He is the Paul Heyman to Bobby Lashley. He is the man, although he doesn't look like a walrus, so that kind of gives him an advantage. Dresses sharp, looks the part, wears the gold. Bobby Lashley's got the gold around his waist. To me, push to the moon. MVP and Lashley can be world champions, or at least he can manage the world champ. We need to see it, guys, so let's see it. Hurt Business shouldn't be a mid-card faction. They should be at the very top of WWE. Woo! Coming in at number 6, we have one of the family members. He isn't at the head of the table, but he sure as hell sits at the side. It is Jey Uso, the one that doesn't get arrested all the time for driving.
Are you sure? May as well be like.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What's the difference between Jimmy and Jay? Apart from one's cutting good promos at the moment, the other one's sitting at home sidelined.
I know it's a shame, like they're both twins, and one's doing some good stuff, and the other's getting some DUIs. And
but I guess the only positive is, like, if you're the one that's not doing the good stuff, you might get credited for doing it anyway.
Aye, but the other one's getting shafted.
I don't know. I think twins is. I think the best thing the Usos could do is probably get split up and put on different brands. To me, if you want to be a serious, you can't just twins. I mean, it's just two guys. I mean,
no,
like
the Hardys look similar. I get it, they're not twins, but they were very easy.
Honestly, I mean, same. The Dudleys wear the same attire and stuff like that, you know, and same sort of boots and camouflage trousers. But at the end of the day, there's a wee bit of a difference between Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley. So the Usos don't really have that luxury. They kind of look the same. But at the moment, Jay's cutting good promos and Jimmy ain't, and that is the difference between the two, and that is why Jay Uso comes in on this list at number 6. Up next, number 5, we have the chief of the Hurt Business, the Muscle, the man on a mission, Mr. Bobby Lashley.
There will be no stopping.
The current United States champion, the man that came out in Raw and just demolished Riddle and that fat piece of shit Keith Lee like they were nothing. The man, in my opinion, that should be the next WWE champion on the Raw brand. Bobby the Machine. Bobby the Muscles, man. Bobby Lashley, right? What a guy. ECW champion. Shane McMahon's heat at WrestleMania. Barred people in TNA.
He was Donald Trump's right-hand man.
For that, he should have probably been number 1 on this list.
I'll tell you what, McMahon is a racist, right? Because see the whole thing that he didn't have a WWE champion, and he put Kofi Kingston above this guy? What is he, racist or delusional? What took him so long? How could he make Kofi Kingston champ but no this guy?
How does that mean he's racist? If he was racist, he wouldn't have had either.
That's what I'm saying. Did he change over time? Is it delusional? What is it for Finny Mac? Because how is this guy, this black god, compared to some pancake eater?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a disgrace, guys.
It's a disgrace. Bobby Lashley coming at number 5. Possibly could have been higher. But the voting system, guys, it rigged. Just like Donald Trump got cheated out of the election. But I think Bobby Lashley got cheated out of 4th place.
And he also voted Trump. Great guy.
Did he?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
He was a sergeant in the army. He must have.
Aye.
He must have.
He's putting the troops over on ECW, so I mean that's pretty extreme, especially in today's climate. And up next, coming in at number 4, we have the head of the table, the big dog, the Samoan shithouse, Roman Reigns,
bulldozer,
the guy that is the current Universal Champion, been on a very long run. Doesn't seem like he's going to drop this belt anytime soon. He's got Paul Heyman by his side, probably doing the best work of his WWE career, which wouldn't be hard because let's be real, the first 6-7 years of it wasn't that good. But I feel like Roman Reigns definitely in his element at the moment. Although to be fair, slightly overrated. I don't feel like he's stealing the shows. I feel like he's probably one of the best parts of the shows. But
I'll be real. I don't even really like the gimmick. I mean, like, why is this guy picking on Adam Pearce? Head of the table, and he's picking on a guy who was never relevant, never will be relevant, and he's called Scrap Daddy.
Yeah, like, I mean, Austin had to go up against fucking Vince McMahon. Who's Roman Reigns got to go up against?
Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce. I mean, Reigns is a star, he's The Rock's cousin. Hopefully it can have a blow off with those two, and then it can elevate this gimmick. But at the end of the day, he talks into a mic, and you can probably understand him, because he's talking like this.
Yeah, what is the audio problems on SmackDown about? Seriously?
Brad Rose is right, it's only SmackDown.
Get them fixed, and get Rock versus Roman Reigns at the main event. Alright, maybe not this year because there's no crowd, but definitely in the future. Get the crowd back, get Roman Reigns versus The Rock.
Get Rikishi back.
And let's have a big Samoan reunion.
In hell.
Up next, coming in at number 3, the only female on this list, Alexa Bliss. In my opinion, easily the best female in the company. Charlotte Flair couldn't hold a candle to her. Some of the stuff she's been doing at the moment with Randy Orton has been phenomenal. Obviously, she's teaming up with The Fiend at the moment. However, The Fiend has been gone for a few months now, so he is not on this list. Or else he probably would have featured towards the higher end of the list. I'd say probably would have made the top 5 at least. But Alexa Bliss cutting really good promos at the moment and involved in a really good storyline with Randy Orton with a really good character, and that is something the females lack at the moment.
Yep, she's not thrown into a tag team like the other rest of the jobber women. Actual story here, even if it is slow, it's getting somewhere.
And in my opinion, the most relevance women have is when they're in storylines and feuds with men, and I think that can be seen all throughout the career of wrestling. Chyna was in DX. You know, Lita hung about with the Hardys, was in that relationship with Edge. Trish was involved with a lot of male characters, and to me, when women are involved with men, that is when they get elevated to the top. And that is where Alexa Bliss currently is. She is at the top. Don't know if she'll be burning Randy Orton anytime soon. But speaking of burning, the guy up next got kind of burned at first place. It is number 2, the Rated R
Superstar
Edge, the guy that returned from career-ending back injuries, neck injuries, surgeries.
Then a torn bicep.
He took them all, he came back, he got injured again, he got fucked out for 9 months, but he is back, he's at the top, he's won the Royal Rumble, and he is going on to WrestleMania. The only question is, what champion is he going to face? It doesn't really matter, because he's better than both of them. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, they could not lace Edge's boots. And I hope Edge wins at WrestleMania. Well deserved. And if anyone wants to cry about a part-timer, about an old guy winning it, then you know what? That's not Edge's fault. It's not Edge's fault that the current guys, the new guys, are absolute shit and couldn't hold a candle to him. Will Edge win at WrestleMania? I hope so. He recently schooled The Miz in a promo on Raw, and it's embarrassing. I mean, the difference between Edge and the rest of these guys is...
I was awesome 20 years ago, buddy.
I mean, that's The Miz's gimmick. It was, 2007, I'm The Miz and I'm awesome. And he's still doing that shit.
We are 2 decades later.
I mean,
literally 2 decades later. And it's the same shit. Mate, you're near 40, and look at the way him and Morrison are acting.
Like goofy. They're acting the same as they were when they were in 2008, when they were a team. I mean, you have to evolve. Remember Edge and Christian? Edge doesn't act like that 20 years later. Like a fucking goofball. It worked back in the day when Edge and Christian were doing it because they were young and cocky and arrogant and new on the block. New Edge is approaching 50. He can't act that way, and he doesn't act that way.
That's why DX doesn't work when you've got 2 50-year-old men acting like degenerates.
Yeah, you can't really be a 50-year-old degenerate.
I'm just a sexy boy.
Yeah, that does not really work. But anyway, last but certainly not least,
Randall Keith
coming
Orton.
in at number 1.
Randall Keith Orton.
There he is, guys. The man that is burned the Fiend alive. The man never die because he doesn't know how to die.
He's got the unlimited eggs thing where you just keep on eating eggs.
Eat the eggs and you will survive. Randy Orton doesn't sell burns. He doesn't sell anything. He doesn't even sell Edge throwing him over the top rope because he'll come back and face him on Raw. Anyway, Orton will be going to WrestleMania, no doubt about it. But who will he be facing? Will he be facing the Fiend?
Let's put it this way, right? I'd probably say this is the best run of his career, maybe, because he's literally carrying this company on his back.
Yeah, I mean, someone says Drew McIntyre's carrying the company on his back.
It's this guy.
It's this guy right here. It is this guy right here.
Like, Edge just came into it, like, back into it, so that's elevated a bit. But literally, the past couple of months is any time I looked at clips, it was Randy Orton and
it's Randy Orton. It's nothing to do with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is just the guy holding the belt.
Well, this guy carried us through a pandemic. Well, he's as bad as a pandemic. He's fucking.
Let's be honest. Drew McIntyre sat at home with COVID. I didn't see Orton sitting at home with COVID. Orton was too busy fucking burning the Fiend on Raw. Do you know what I mean? Drew McIntyre's sitting at home in a wee blanket with a cough bottle. Oh, I got COVID, I can't train for 4 days. Please go easy on me, Bill. I don't know if I'll be able to defend my title at the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? Who's next? Fucking Randy Orton should be next. Get the title on him. What he's waiting for. Get ready, Drew. Get Drew in the bin and get Randy Orton with the WWE Championship because he is number 1 on this list.
And that is the bottom line because Fog Wrestling said so.
If you disagree or you agree, then let us know down below. What's your top 10 list and what did you think of this top 10 list? And if you disagree, then
go fuck yourself.
Because you're wrong. Until next time, though, this has been Fog Wrestling. And that is it for this top 10 list. If there's any other lists you want to see, let us know down below. But until then,
peace.